The second team in the East advances, third overall, and the Boston Bruins beating the Carolina Hurricanes 4-1, which seems to be a common game scoreline across the league, is these 4-1. In the Sagans Bruin jersey, God, I love the shoulder. I think this is the best bit of the jersey. I know I've said that a few times in these videos. Look at this. Look at that bad boy. So, how did they do it? As the title suggests, how did they do it? Well, one thing that helped was their special teams was lights out. They managed to score some really timely power play goals throughout the series, which was a real big difference, actually, in the series compared to Carolina's power play. And they even got a shorthanded goal that was very timely as well. The one thing that I think that was very odd this series with their scoring was they didn't get many chippy goals. I think as a neutral fan of hockey, well, I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan actually, but neutral for everyone else. The one thing I've kind of noticed is that they do have skill, but they always play that chippy Boston style. We all know what I'm talking about. A lot of their goals 5-on-5 were players getting free and being able to find space and score and do some pretty sick moves in the meantime. The last game 4, if you look at the 4 goals to, that 4-goal, down by 2, they scored 4 goals in the space of, 6 minutes or something on those lines. All of them, those players are alone. Now that's sparked off by that DeBrusque amazing goal, which is so underrated that really, I think, sparks the team. But if you look at all the goals, it's either the forwards are just finding sneaky ways to get free, and some really good passing, which I think it is that, and a very lazy Carolina defense at times that just had defensive lapses throughout this series. Game 1, same deal. Their 3 goals, the players are just alone in front of the net. Reimer, who just obviously is having nightmares over Boston and another comeback, and Mrazek didn't really stand a chance this series to be able to stand on their head and steal some games because the scoring opportunities were way too good, and I think it's a mix of Carolina not covering their man and playing a zone-style defense, and Boston being able to exploit that and get free and make the good decisions. It wasn't puck luck. You can't say that this was puck luck this series. This was Boston just outright being better. The only shaky thing for me is the goaltending. Halak was pretty good, although he'll want that Niederreiter goal back. I think, I don't know how he's going to go on a full series. Obviously, shades of 10 years ago, he has the ability to steal a series, but that was a long time ago now. So I'm not sure where this team is at right now when it comes to its defensive core, which I don't think is bad, but it's goaltending. Rask not being there hurts a bit if he was 100%, but Rask, where he's at right now, Halak is better to have in net. If his head wasn't in it, he made the completely right decision. And the least selfish decision. I know it's hard to think that way, but it's less selfish to be there and not want to play and be a liability on their team. It's better to have someone else play at that point. Marchand was great, Bergeron was great. They were able to play a defensive system and stop Carolina scoring a lot. As well, which helps, of course. But yeah, it was just this ability to just get free and get these highlight reel goals, and you just don't see it too often with this Boston team. Usually it's hard. There's skill players, and I'm not saying they're not a skillful team, but there wasn't those gritty goals. They were just all highlight reel. I don't know if they'll get that against other teams that they come up against. They might against Tampa because they had lapses throughout their series against Columbus. So, but yeah, if they can win this without doing that gritty style, I'm really worried when they have that up their sleeve because they didn't need to go to it. 5-on-5, this series, outside of small lapses from Carolina, was even-ish. I would still give it to Boston, say 6 points to 4. Outside of these just brain farts that Carolinas would just have these death shifts that would just cost them a goal. Didn't help that they weren't lucky with reviews. That was a team that could have got some puck luck as well. But I feel like it was pretty even this series when it comes to just lucky bounces and things like that. I feel like they had a few that the reviews didn't go their way, but then they got a shorthanded goal straight away after the power play. They're on the penalty kill for the review. things like that. There was a few times that like Mrazek was beaten and hit the post, and like the way he got beaten and hit the back post behind him, like it's, you know. Yeah, I've seen a few Carolina fans sort of say that they were unlucky this series. I don't think they were. I think it was closer than 4-1. The scores in a lot of the games suggest that, but I think it was just an ability of Boston to be able to play 64 minutes, or close enough to, of just solid hockey, where Carolina could play very good hockey at certain moments to be able to get leads and be able to get goals. But when they weren't on, and they just weren't at Boston's level the whole time, which I didn't think Boston would be able to bring out after the round robins games, but they definitely were. Probably the only worry I have is some depth scoring. They only have 3 players right now that have more than 4 points, seeing that they played 4 round robin games and 5 playoff games. That's not great, but a few of those players came to their own. DeBrusk had a real good series. Charlie Coyle. That was the other thing I wanted to mention. Some of their skill goals just out of nothing, like Coyle's bat out of the air, DeBrusk's goal to start the comeback. They were able to sort of generate goals from nothing a lot too. And that's that experience. That's that Boston experience, I think, over the Carolina of just like, we're not losing this game. We're the team that can come back against Toronto whenever we want. They've had that identity for a long time. Against the Penguins a few years ago when they had a Ginler and a pretty good lineup. They just come in waves, and it just keeps coming, but they just weren't able to get those gritty goals that you'd see in the bottom 6 that they usually are able to get, and you didn't see that much in the play-in round, so a little bit worried there. I would say defensive scoring outside of McAvoy, who had 4 points. Krug had 3. I mean, he was around it, but yeah, not really much else when it comes to assists or anything like that, so a little bit worried in some of these players. And I feel like there's a lot of teams in the East that no one's really risen to the top yet in the East. So it's very wide open, and I think Boston's... I was very worried about them, actually. I actually thought Carolina might win this series. But I think the fact that they won it handily, 4-1, even though the games were closer than that, finding ways to win... I have a feeling that they're kind of rising to be one of the favorites, if not the favorite right now in the East, just from what you're seeing. But none of them have really just staunched, leapt out of the gate. It's a little bit open still in the East, so yeah. Anyway, guys, that is the whole video. If you did like that video, hit the like button. If you've made it all this way and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button because it really does help us out. Especially seeing that it is 10 p.m. right now, and I've still got to edit this and do another video. So, it's motivational stuff. We just hit 150, so that's amazing. I've still got to do a 100 subscriber video, but obviously things have just been so busy with the playoffs. So that's something that is coming. Actually, there's 2 of those videos. 3 now. I had a fan wrote in for another idea, so I'll do 3. And every milestone I hit, I'll do a couple of videos for. Anyway, guys, comment down below. What do you think Boston's going to do this playoffs? How far do you think Halak will take them? If Russ can come back in the conference final, although Burke said everyone's going to be really ashamed that they bagged him out when they really know what happened to him. So I think there might be something else going on there that we're not exactly privy to. That will probably mean he's not coming back. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you. And bye.